Hey everybody, welcome to another unexpected entry into the Yanni sphere. Welcome back to the Yannis Pappas Hour, which airs sporadically based on economics. And that's how we are doing it from here on in. I am on a haircut strike until the Iran conflict ends. I'm doing the opposite of what Reverend Al Sharpton did. He stopped eating. He stopped eating over some cause, and he got skinny or whatever. Is he still alive? I think he's still alive. He's still alive. Whatever's left of him is still here. He's skinny. He looked better fat. He's born to be fat. I mean, he looks like a spoon. Looks like a spoon with chocolate milk on it. Ow! That's the tone of his skin. I am on a haircut strike until this situation ends. Will it end soon? Will it not? We'll tell you right now. You're going to get the answers that you're all worried about right now. What's going to happen to oil? What's going to happen to gas prices? What's going to happen with China? What is going to happen with Russia? I'll tell you what. Russia and China are not getting involved because neither one of them likes or cares for the Muslims. That's one of those stinks where they just go, all right, just don't mess with my oil. And America goes, you know what? We don't love that they've been back channeling cheap oil to you, China. We don't like that. I'll just call China Tom Han or Michael Wong. We don't like you. Michael Wong has been getting, they've been circumventing our sanctions and sending you cheap oil through the Strait of Hormuz. Is that what it's called? The Strait of Hormuz. The shipping route known as the Strait of Hormuz. We don't like it. So I don't think Russia's going to do much. And also, you have to understand, they check a little bit, you know? And if they don't check, they have intelligence. And the intelligence goes, how do you think Putin's going to react to this? And they go, he's not going to care. Well, he cares about his oil. That might be a little bit of an issue. The global economy and oil, that may be a little bit of an issue. But as far as what you want to do down there, I mean, whatever. He's tied up. He's tied up right now fighting a proxy war with you in Ukraine. So what's he going to do? What are we going to do? China does rely on the oil. And what should make you nervous is the last time we messed with someone's oil supply, they bombed one of our greatest tourist destinations. That's what happened. Did we know about it? Did we not? Did we have advance warning? Did FDR, look the other way because he wanted to get into the war? Probably, right? Probably he was like, they're planning. Maybe not. Was it as much of a sneak attack as probably not. Because what actually happened was we sanctioned their oil, right? Didn't we sanction it? Whatever we did to it. We cut off their oil, and they were like, we can't let that happen. We can't let that happen is what they said. And so they went and they bombed Hawaii in what is known as Pearl Harbor. It's known as Pearl Harbor. They cut off 90% of Japan's oil in July of 1941. Yet-da-da, da-da-da, yet-da-da-da, da-da-da, yet-da. The Mick is up to the plate. The Mick is up to the plate. He's off the field. Mickey Mantle. They froze Japanese assets, halting oil exports in response to their occupation of southern Indochina. This embargo, joined by Britain and the Dutch East Indies Company. We got to look at the Dutch East. They're behind a lot of problems. Was designed to halt Japanese expansion. So we mess with their oil. And so they didn't like that one bit. So that is what directly led to the attack on Pearl Harbor. Because Japan had a big war machine and they were heavily dependent on foreign oil. 88% of its supply was coming from the United States. And the government came in. Because, those private companies don't care. They go, what? Oh, you're at war with our allies, so what? We make a money. We're making a pizza. We're making a pizza. Who making a pizza? Who making a pizza? 100%. I can't stop watching Crispy Pizza's Instagram. I can't stop. 100%. What are we doing, Dan? What are we doing, Dan? Tonight we're going to make an original pie. We're making an original pie. Your uncle's coming over. 100%. No flop jalops. I can't stop. I love pizza that much. I love pizza that much. If I die by pizza, so be it. We're getting pizza today. And by pizza, of course, I mean young children. 100%, Dan. 100%. You got to get the even distribution on the pizza with the cheese and the sauce. Right here, we got the sauce with the caramelized onions. 100%. Crispy Pizza. A Brooklyn legendary staple that has 3 locations. It's a family business, and it brings a tear to my eye because it reminds me of the town that I grew up in where Italians made the pizza. And I didn't know what an Albanian was. I'd never seen a Mexican. Not like there's anything wrong with it. It's just nostalgic. There was no pizzerias that didn't have Italians in there. Pinot used to be in Pino's. Right? And then all of a sudden you got all these Eastern Bloc people. They make the pizza just as good, though. And God, do I love Albanians. Just want you to know I love everyone, especially Albanians. By the way, speaking of that, I'm sick of hearing, because a lot of Albanians kicked them out too. I'm sick of, it's like this Iranian thing is happening. And then you go on X or you go on the internet or whatever, and you hear all these guys going, I'm Persian, you don't understand. We're Persian. We're Persian. We're not Islamic. We're Muslim. We're Persian. We're the descendants of Cyrus the Great that we offered sanctuary to the Jews. We're Persian. Human rights. Cyrus the Great. We're Persian people. Persia raised the fire of freedom of the great Persia. We're Persian. We're Zoroastrianisms. We're not Muslims. It's like, fucking prove it then. Shut up. So fucking prove it. Stop yelling about it. Why do you need us in there? Why do you need Israel and us? Do something about it. You ever heard of Montenegro? You ever heard of Greece? We did something about it. We didn't move to Beverly Hills and tweet. Do something. What do you need, the Kurds to go in there? If not, then just leave it. I don't know. Is it 99% Muslim over there? Is it 30, 40% Muslim? It depends on what poll you take, right? The regime says it's 99% Muslim. Independent polling based on digital research, internet research, using using WhatsApp and all these apps to gauge, says it's more like 30, 40% Muslim. Who knows? What we do know is your regime is Shia Muslim. That's what we know, right? So that's what we know. So I don't know. If you don't like them, stop tweeting about it. I don't know what to tell you. The Greeks did it. The Montenegrins did it. They never let it. A portion of Albania did it. Spain fixed it. I mean, things happened. Otherwise, just, throw your tarps on and shut up. It's good being a small show. The Kurds, again, we're always using the Kurds. Didn't we use the Kurds in Syria and Iraq and Libya? And now the Kurds, they're just like our de facto proxy fighting power. And it never works out, though. It never works out. You want to know what the ugly truth is? When you're fighting against guerrillas, the only way, if you look at history, for empires to win against guerrillas is to completely decimate and burn the place, and civilians and farms and just scorched earth. It's the only way. Because when you're an insurgent or a guerrilla or a rebel or a freedom fighter, whatever you have, everyone's got a different definition depending on what side you are on. You don't have to win. You just have to persist. You just have to persist until political will of the empire is like, that's what happened in America, right? I mean, how does these small ragtag rebels, how did the Greeks get the Ottoman Empire out? How did the Montenegrins do it? How did it happen? It's just, you just have to persist and just be a thorn in their back. You don't have to win. You just have to not lose. And the only way empires would do it in the past was they would just wipe you all out, right? Judea was a problem for Rome constantly, and they would win little skirmishes and then what did Rome do? That's the only way. You go in there and you brutalize not just the rebels, but you brutalize the population, which is horrible. I'm not advocating for it, but you got to understand, morality is a modern thing. Humanity hasn't changed. Every border you're looking at, every country you call a country or a nation was forged in blood. Being a cynic is just easier. It's just easier. All right, if you put the humanity up on Kalshi, I'd go against it. I'd go 90% it's going to fail, and AI will merge with the new thing, and will be another failed evolutionary experiment. You know? But back in the day, that's what they did. And then how did they solve the uprising? The Rome, they went in there, they destroyed the temple, they murdered and massacred, they took Bar Kokhba, that general, they gutted his ass, they fucking kicked him out, said you're gone, they renamed it Palestina, to say, fuck you, it's no longer yours. There's no Judea, there's no David, there's no Sulayev, no more anxiety, get it out. No more cutting the line, get it out. No more eating kosher, get it out. No more matzo ball soup, get it out. It's the only way you do it. But since Vietnam, I mean, in Africa, they still go hard. When there's civil wars over there or there's insurgencies or rebels, they still go hard over there. But there's not a lot of cameras over there, and for some reason, people don't care as much unless Bono tweets about Darfur. Nobody cares. But unfortunately, this is just the story of humanity continuing, and the Middle East is in another century. It's just from another time where their beefs go back thousands of years. It doesn't make sense to us because we're American, and we believe the world was born like 250 years ago. But their beefs go all the way back. And everyone always thinks it's just the Jews and the Palestinians or Hezbollah or Iran that have beef. But you just don't understand the region fully. Because the Sunni and Shia got beef going all the way back. The Kurds got beef with, and they're Sunni. They're mostly Sunni, but they got beef with Turkey, and they got beef with all these other countries. They want to carve it out and make a Kurdistan. They didn't get their own country after the Ottoman Empire fell, and they want one. That's why they're willing to go in. The Kuwaitis got beef with the Palestinians because the Palestinians supported Saddam Hussein invading Kuwait. So what did they do to 450 Palestinians that lived in Kuwait? They kicked them out. Did you know that? You didn't know that. Well, I'm telling you, they kicked them out. People who lived in their homes for a while, they said, get out. Kicked them out. The Greeks got beef. The region used to be Byzantine. It was Greek. It was Christian. Egypt was Christian. You had the Copts, the Coptic people that, they've been decimated because they all were like, let me convert to Islam so I don't got to pay this Giza or, keep getting murdered on the street and my kids get taken from me and sent to wherever and raped and put in harems. They take you and put you in a harem. They give you, it was such a genius empire system, the Giza, right? The Ottoman Giza, because what it said was like, look, you can keep your thing and rule your little area with your little councils or whatever. But what you're going to do is you're going to pay a tax that's going to fund our regime and our empire. And we're going to use that money to keep expanding and keep control. And so you can keep your culture or whatever, you keep your religion, but you're going to be paying extortion tax. And that's what it was. Now you get our protection. You can't serve in our military, but we're the mafia that's protecting you. You're under our rule and continue to make your spanakopiters or whatever the fuck you're making. Just do it. Just send the money. Or you could convert and become one of us. And then you get all the legal privileges. You don't have to pay the Giza. Most people concerned about money, right? That's let you know it's the economy, stupid. So they said, I'm going to convert. And sometimes they wouldn't do that. Sometimes they say, you just have to convert because we need a Muslim majority here, or we kick you out, or we do this, or we do that. I mean, smart empire building. That's why it lasted so long. Ottoman Empire was pretty successful, right? But the Egyptians were mostly, it was like Christians, Syria, that was all the Greek ruins there, Iraq, Turkey, that was all Greek, right? And then the horsemen came down from Central Asia, and they did their thing and turned it. And they were converted. Islam, the Arabs spread out. And, Muhammad won the day. Muhammad and his followers kind of fought back against Christianity, this new religion, and spread all over Northern Africa, the Middle East, all the way to the East. There's like Asian-looking Muslims. All the way down. You got Pakistan over. They converted some booty boos, right? Bangladesh. I think Bangladesh is Muzzy too. Then all the way up to Russia, you got Muzzies in Dagestan and Chechnya. They spread. They did their thing. It's been kind of a back and forth with Christianity being first, and then the Muzzies came back and did their thing. So at some point, the Persians got their butt handed to them, and it's been that way for how long? 1,000 years, 1,400 years? How long has Iran been run by the Muslims? For a long time, right? Is it 1,400 years or 1,000 years? The Muslims came in. Persia was conquered by the Muslim forces between 631 and 651. So how long is that? 700, 800, 900, 1,000. That's a long time. Yeah, about 1,400 years. Am I right? Yeah, 1,400 years. So this whole we're Persia thing, fucking prove it or shut up. I don't think so. I think this is probably going to be another failed intervention. That's what I think. Because it's happening from the outside. I mean, there's supposedly all these riots and stuff inside, but I don't know. I don't know what to do. Grab guns? I don't know. It's what my ancestors did. I don't know what to tell you. But you also see these massive protests for the Ayatollah. So it's they've been Muslim for 1,400 years. So I think them yelling on Persian just maybe some rich chick on Rodeo Drive whose parents, they're Persian Jews or they're Christian Persians or they're... Is anyone Zoroastrian anymore? I mean, it's been 1,400 years. I mean, is there really any Zoroastrianism? I think this may be a thing that's not going to work out just like Syria, Libya, and Iraq. I think so because usually the only way you can do this, you can't come on, dude. They're gone. There's 100,000 to 200, and I don't even know how you would count that. But when's the last time you met a Zoroastrianism? Never. And supposedly there's millions of Kurds. I never met a Kurd. Have you met a Kurd? I've never met a Kurd. But apparently they're just willing to work with the United States in whatever war it starts in the region. I think it's because they want a Kurdistan. And I think Turkey hates their PKK, which is their Kurdistan Worker Party, which they consider a terrorist group. Because what happened is the region where they're at is made of 4 countries, the Kurds. It's slap dab in the middle of Turkey and a couple of other sand spots. Ow, I hurt my finger. A couple other countries. Turkey, what is it? So it spans, so the Kurds, yeah, so they're stateless, but it's it's kind of nominally known as Kurdistan, right? But they want an actual formal Kurdistan. So it's Turkey, Syria, Iraq, and Western Iran. So that's the area they want to carve out. And of course, Turkey doesn't want them to carve it out. None of these countries want a Kurdistan. But there's 20 million of these Kurds. And they're Sunni. They're Muzzy. The majority over there is just Muzzy. All right? because most people converted or they left. So you have a few Kurdish communities in the diaspora, but, you know, nothing, I haven't met one. Or if I did, I just thought they were, I mean, I just, you know, I went with the American filter and I, you know, and I was just going, it's a couple Sandra D's. You don't specify. But over there, they specify. Make no mistake, they specify. It's like when, you know, you get into this American thing where they go white privilege or whites. It's like you go to Europe and you're like, they differentiate between the whites, right? But the blacks would look and go, those are just whites. But if you ask an Irish dude and an English dude if they were part of the same whites, they'd go, we're not part of the same whites. If you ask some Turkish-looking Caucasian, now the Turks, you know, they were like a ruling class, right? A minority ruling class that was vicious, good at war, whatever. And they founded the Ottoman Empire, Muzzies, and then they just started interbreeding. And also they had a lot of Caucasian chicks in their harems. That's why like the descendants of their fucking rulers now just look like whites. Because they loved one region. They would take girls from this one Caucasus region. That's not there anymore. Well, it's there, but it's not called something. But they love taking chicks, white chicks from this one region as sex slaves and throwing them in the harem. And that's what the harems were, sex slaves. So white Turks, I mean, that kid Hassan Piker is basically a kind of a white-looking Turk. Because the Turks were like Asia-looking. They were from Central Asia. They were mountain Eastern Hemis kind of thing. You know, they were like, but now it's like Central Asian, European, and a lot of Middle Eastern in there because it became a thing, like America, an empire, like the British Empire, like, you know, like Rome. It's a bunch of ethnicities being ruled by, you know, this idea, this empire, these set of rules and this army and this power structure and this minority that rules everything. And, you know, I remember I was on Ancestry.com and some dude with a Turkish name was like, you're my cousin. We had some DNA and he had a Turkish name. So that meant, you know what that meant? Now I understand it. At the time I thought I had Turkish. Remember I was like, I got some Turkey in me. I don't have any Central Asian DNA. I don't have any Middle Eastern. I don't have any Arabic. 1%. I think it was 1 or 2%. I have a little bit somewhere back along the lines. I guess I share, but 1% is nothing, dude. That's like 1% is like literally nothing. I mean, I have more Neanderthal DNA than I think I do have Arab DNA, because I think my Neanderthal DNA was like 1 or 2%.
What's worse?
But so what that means, without a doubt, is that dude was Greek. His family at one point was Greek and converted and like, or married a Turk and has like Greek and, you know, interbred with a Turk who took the male name. What's funny? Just,
you sound like a guy who's trying to quit smoking. I'm just gonna have one cigarette.
I got no.
Whatever you got to tell yourself.
Whatever I got to tell myself. No, but that's true. That's what it is. Not like I would care. My dad used to just say he's part Turkish. He didn't care. Whatever it is. Whatever it may be. You know, that's what's going on in Iran. This is something they've held for 1,400 years. We're not talking about, you know, something that's new. So them jettisoning the yoke, according to them, of the Muslim clerics who run it, because the Ayatollahs are also like Shia religious leaders, right? It's like killing the Pope or something. Imagine the Pope. I mean, I bet you the Pope does do bad stuff, but he doesn't have like his own army and shit, does he? Anyway, they're high-ranking senior Shia Muslim clerics. Let me tell you something right now. If you own a business, then you got to really check out Square. It's your all-in-one business partner, making your day-to-day easier, from point-of-sale systems and payments to inventory and customer tools. Square brings everything together in one simple platform, so you stay organized, sell anywhere, and keep things moving. It's really great. I use it for my business. It's amazing. If you're a cafe, boutique, restaurant, I mean, you got to use Square. You really do. You really, really do. It makes it easier to keep things running smoothly. One of the first things I noticed about Square when you're running a business is obviously there's a lot of moving parts, and Square helps really simplify that, which is what I like. The hardware looks polished and fits right into your space without feeling intrusive, and the software is incredibly straightforward and intuitive. You don't need special training. You just set it up and start taking payments quickly. You ever go into a restaurant and they got Square? Yeah, it's awesome. You just boop. So it is great. So this is what you got to do. And Square, by the way, just so you know, supports all major credit cards and payment methods, including contactless options like Apple Pay, Google Pay. Checkout is fast, easy for your customers. You got to have Square if you got a restaurant, boutique, whatever. It's designed for businesses at every stage. Square keeps up so you don't have to slow down. Get everything you need to run and grow your business without any long-term commitments. And why wait? Why wait? Right now, you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/Yannis. That's SQUARE.com/GO/Yannis, YANNIS. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today. Guys, you know me. You know I love Lucy. I got one in right now. So I'm not only the hair club president, I'm also a client. I love Lucy. They're all over now. You can find them at many stores. If you want to find out if your store has it, just go to lucy.co/stores. If you love nicotine the way I love nicotine, Lucy is a great company. They got me in, and I'm sold. I love it. I love their flavors. Like I always say, espresso's my favorite in the morning, and then I go with the apple. I love that. I love the breakers, a little extra flavor. When you break that little thing, it's fun. Inside the pouch, you just break it, and a little blast of flavor into your mouth. It's really good. There's nothing to say. If you're into nicotine, try Lucy. It's great. What you got to do right now, it's the only pouch that gives you long-lasting flavor whenever you need it. Get 20% off. Nice. Your first order. I use this promo code, by the way. When you're 20%, you get 20% off your first order when you buy online with the code Yannis, which is what I like to do. So I don't have to. I know what my supply is. And if you don't want to wait, just head to lucy.co/stores to find Lucy near you and grab it today. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Go get yourself a Lucy. So that's what it is over there. The religions rule. They don't have separation of church and state. The state is the church. And that's how it goes. And if you're a lady, tough luck. It's tough luck if you're a lady, I guess. The man knows what's best for you. And it's that. So now we're killing like the religious leaders, right? So what always ends up happening is like you're just giving the Sunni and Shia a common enemy. You know, they're going to come from all over. Right? They're already coming from Iraq. The Shia from Iraq are coming to fight. It's going to be a jihad. And it's just, there's not much you can really do over there. There's just not much you can really do. And what is ironic is the places in the Middle East that have modernized, right? Like Riyadh, which apparently American leftists don't want progress there. They don't want... I don't know what they want over there. They just don't want comedians getting paid over there. I don't know how progress works in your imaginary childlike world, but I assume it goes through some sort of disgruntled filter, and that being disgruntled has something to do with that you weren't asked to go. But I don't know how you think progress works. Like, you know, what government, you know, doesn't have blood on there? I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean, I understand. Don't get me wrong. You know, they're Wahhabi Muslims, but women are taking they're changing. So these things don't happen overnight. You're talking about the birthplace of Muhammad that had a lesbian comedian go. I mean, it's a step in the right direction. How do you want it? What do you want to happen? You want to just ignore? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Have you thought beyond the criticism of what you would want, or are you just enjoying the criticism? Because it's fucking transparent. Right? There's no ha-ha-ha in Azerbaijan right now. And there's no hula-hula, there's no loony bin in Tehran. So how do you want, what's progress to you? What is the goal? What do you want? Because the other Middle Eastern countries that we didn't intervene with are kind of modernizing. There's business happening there. There's tourism happening there. In fact, Dubai is becoming like the spot where all the rich people go to tax evade. It's becoming the new Switzerland. I mean, so they're fucking bummed out right now. They're getting bombed, and that's why Iran is bombing them. So they're fucking bummed out because everyone's going to Dubai. I think Trump family is going to end up in Dubai because you just don't pay no taxes. And if you steal something, they kill your whole family. So, you know, it's just growing. Dubai, the UAE, you know. Egypt is right now deciding that maybe we should stop cutting women's clitorises off because that's what they do. So they're going, okay, we're hearing, maybe we should stop. Maybe we should stop that. Which over there is progress. You can critique it, but at some point they have to first stop. They can't sew them back on. So at a certain point they got to stop. A lot of people just aren't aware of these atrocities around the world, right? Because they're so caught up in the the ones I'm exposed to. Around the world they are more. But in America and Europe, it's a very kind of like, I'm on the couch, I'm getting my DoorDash, and I'm like reading and listening to Sam Piker or whatever. And like, I'm getting absolutes and I'm getting easy answers. And everything is filtered through this sort of Jew-run American government or something else, right? There's not a lot of truth, not a lot of nuance, not a lot of adult conversation happening. You know, I mean, you could just look at the demographics of people who usually listen to those shows and also the mental health of them. And you could go, yeah, you know, your friends who have jobs and kids aren't really checking in on Alex Jones. They're not really checking in on X for what the latest fodder is, what the latest beef is. They don't really know what's going on with Ben Shapiro and this. They just don't know because these people are all entertainers with an entertainment business. I'm sure by now they have products. I mean, Tucker Carlson's now got his own nicotine pouch, and it's just what it is. And then I saw one of his top comments was like, yeah, man, we're just going to sit back and just put in a thing. And it was called an Alp. His thing's called an Alp. And it was like they're marketing the product in the argument. So that's what just most of the world is at right now. Because of how the algorithm loves outrage. There's a lot of outrage farming going on because it produces engagement. The negativity bias, we've talked about it. You know what's going on. But in the real world, you know, there's a lot more nuance. There's a lot more local politics. There's a lot more groups like the Kurds and the Des and the Shia and the Sunni and the Northern Iraq and Southern Iraq and Bangladesh, Pakistan. Pakistan is fighting Afghanistan now. It's a complicated world. The Taliban is mad at Iran. It's a complicated world. Sunni and Shia, different geographical locations. There's different ethnic groups. They're all in there. And they all got opinions. There's different ethnic groups in Iran. Iran has got 80, 90 million people. There's different ethnic groups. That's a little empire over there. You know, they rule. The empire's all just shrunk, you know, like your brain at night when the cells shrink and the fluid washes over your brain and your hippocampus takes over to form memories. You know, that's what happens when you sleep. You go through cycles like 14 or 16 times or whatever, every 90 minutes or whatever it is. You go through deep sleep, REM, light sleep. And what your brain is doing is sort of, and then what happens is the cells actually shrink like 60% or something like that. And then this fluid comes in, this glycal something fluid, glycol whatever, and it just like washes your brain. It's like a flood comes and washes the city at night. And then your hippocampus takes the memories from the day and sort of takes the details and creates memories. Your memories aren't as they happened. It's like the story that your brain tells you. And that's what happens. And that's what's happened here. Empires have just shrunk down. They're in deep sleep. They're just fucking shrunk down. The Ottoman Empire is now Turkey. Alexander the Great's empire is now Greece, right? The colonial powers are now just there with a couple of offshoots here and there. We're part of the Danish crown or whatever the fuck. Come to Aruba, whatever it is. Kill a woman and get away with it for a little bit. We're Danish ruler, whatever the fuck's going on. You know? It's all shrunk down. And look at France. Look at Europe. It's all carved up. Look at Rome. Look at Rome. Shrunk back down to the Italian peninsula where it started. That's what it is. Used to be all that. Used to be all where the Muzzies are and all of Europe. That was all, and Northern Africa. That was all Rome for 1,000 years in the East and another 1,000 in the West. 500 as a republic, 500 as a Caesar dictatorship, and then 1,000 is just Christian. And that changed. At the end of the day, the empire's internal political strife and overextending their military when debt outruns the production of the economy, which, that's usually, these are the signs historians look at. And Iran is in that combo now. Their economy sucks. Sanctions have hit them. Whatever's happening there is not working. Same with Venezuela and their little tiny empire. They were ripe for the plucking. They're down and out. And we decided to attack. Israel likes it. Saudi Arabia likes it a lot. But I don't think the other Gulf countries expected Iran to start blasting them because that's where they blasted Cyprus because there's a British base there. And the British aren't even in it, supposedly. So I don't think that. The chaos. But I think Iran's going like, let's fuck with the global economy a little bit. You know? Either that or it's not thought out and they're just trying to blast wherever America is, which is everywhere. You know? Because we're kind of a smart empire in the way that we rule kind of by economy now, right? The dollar being the currency, right? We kind of military alliances, NATO, they're still their own countries, but they're kind of under us. It's more collaborative now. We've adapted. So yeah, we are an empire, but not like the empires of old. And we do have bases all over the place. And they're hitting them everywhere now. They're hitting all the bases, and it is causing the economy some chaos. And if you're in the market, it's a good buying opportunity. What I like to call a good buying opportunity. If you got the balls. If you got the balls and you can wait it out. With the stock market, it's all about, is this money, do I need this money? And if you don't, you're good. If you need it, you're fucked because your money's gone. That's what it really comes down to, right? It's like, I can still live without, if I lose $1 million or 500,000 or 200,000 or 50,000, I still can live. So if you can do that, you just wait because it always comes back up. And if it doesn't, we got bigger problems. If it doesn't come back, that means Mondami has won the presidency in 2030, whatever, and your private property's been seized and your assets have been seized, and they are all for the warmth of collectivism. And we're all going to struggle or prosper as one collective organism. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Individuals are not paramount anymore. You're just cogs in a wheel for the greater good of I don't know. I don't know. You know, there's no such thing as collectivism. It's just an aggregate sum of individuals. That's all it is. It's an amorphous of a concept. I mean, what can we do? Isn't it funny? The more we've advanced, the more we're having like rudimentary arguments. Like foundational arguments, like what's a woman? We're having like these really childish kind of things that were like settled. I guess I thought were settled. Math is racist, shit like that. The more we've advanced, we've kind of regressed, ironically. In the same way. But I don't know. Seems like America's playing Ayatollah whack-a-mole right now. Because every time we just killed one and they popped up another one, did we get the second one? They're just playing whack-a-mole. Here's another way to put it. And this is going to be a little unpopular with people on the internet and listening to the show. But that's what we like to do here, is make you a little comfortable and then make you a little uncomfortable. Here's another way to put it. The Jews in Israel. The countries that have played nice with the Jews in Israel seem to be doing okay. Because I know a lot of people frame it this way. They go, the countries we haven't intervened with. Right? That's one framing. The countries in the Middle East we have not attacked or bombed, which we like to do, or intervened. Those countries are doing good. That's one framing, right? And the ones that we did are doing bad. Another way you could frame it is the countries that are playing ball with America and or Israel, or just Israel if you want to say, in the Middle East, they're doing well, right? Saudi Arabia, the regimes are going, okay, let's do business, whatever. Egypt, let's have peace. Jordan, let's have peace, right? The ones that are still going death to America, death to Israel, or still waging jihad or whatever they're doing, they aren't doing good. So you could frame it that way as well. You could frame it as the ones that have given into the New World Order. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I won't sugarcoat it and say it's good or bad. This is about power, okay? At one point, there was no Jewish state there. The Jews didn't have the power over there. At one point, America was a bunch of colonies. They didn't have the power. That changed. The Ottomans used to have the power. Then World War I happened, World War II happened, and bye-bye. You became a Turkey. Right? So that changed. Played ball. So, would things get better if you played ball? Sure, you'd have to give up your beloved cloaks around the Sure, there might be bacon at breakfast. I mean, sure, some things may change. But that's another way you could frame it, right? They're both true. Guys, let me tell you right now, Hims offers access to ED treatments, options ranging from personalized products to trusted generics that cost 95% less than brand names if prescribed. Okay? Right? You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hims brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatments that put your goals first. This is not your one-size-fits-all care that forgets you in the waiting room. It's your health and goals that are put first, with real medical providers making sure you get what you need to get results. We want to get you hard, is what we want to do. Think of Hims as your digital front door that gets you back to your old self with simple 100% online access to trusted treatments for ED and more, all in one place. You got to check out Hims. to get simple online access to personalized, affordable care for ED, also hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/Yannis. That's hims.com/Yannis. That's hims.com/Yannis for your free online visit. hims.com/Yannis. Featured products include compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information. Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Yeah, we had to take a quick little pause. We had a worker come in, had to do something. We had a long conversation about parenting and childhood and stuff like that. And he was Albanian, and I always want to ask, which kind? Love the Albanians. He was a great dude. Albanians and Greeks were close. Some of the Albanians, the Greeks are close. No, it's all close, dude. I mean, what is religion? I mean, it's just most people are normal people, you know? It's like, what are we doing over here? I think Pete Hegseth, it's a tough one. Pete Hegseth is going for, he's got some he talks in religious terms, doesn't he? He talks in religious terms. I think there's a video of him saying some wild stuff. The point is, this goes back a long time, and it seems ridiculous. You see a lot of memes and people talking on the internet going like, 3,000 years ago, blah, blah, blah. They make jokes. But to these people, it was just yesterday. Because they hold grudges, because it's all they know, because they're not in Twitter beefs yet. Most of them are just not in Twitter beefs. There's a lot more fun stuff to occupy your mind. There's a lot funner drama out there. Is Michelle Obama a man? There's a lot of things that are fun, right? Steph Curry's wife, she's unhappy. Get into that. There's a lot of fun stuff. You can get into your micro niches and find out what's going on in a stupid comedy world or whatever, made up stuff. There's still celebrity gossip up there. You still don't have to focus on, did this person follow Ali? Or, there's other beefs. There's other new beefs. I think just a lot of these people aren't aware of the new beefs that they can get involved in that, yes, they're digital, but they're just as fun. The brain doesn't know the difference. So do you hate the PKK and the Kurds and you're Turkish? You don't need to do that anymore. You could just go and find out what's trending on X. A lot of people knock social media, but social media is the ultimate distraction and it is the ultimate pacifier. It's almost as good as sedative in the waters. It's almost as good as putting, Paxil in the water supply of major cities. Just go on and go, oh my God, a turtle owner rescues broken eggs in a heartwarming video. Oh my God. Kristi Noem just got fired because she was she set herself up as a fake company and paid herself $220 million. Was that what happened? Kristi Noem's out. Give her credit for how bold that was. You know what she was thinking? She was probably going, people are distracted by Epstein right now. Now people are distracted by the Iran war, right? Everyone's talking about Epstein. Everyone's talking about the Iran war. What I'm going to do is go to shady-ass Delaware, set up a fake company, and then 8 days later just send that company $220 million. That's cool. She's just got fired. You really have to do something wrong if you get fired by Trump and it's not for criticizing him. Right? If you're licking his boots and tonguing his bunghole, sweeping his chimney on a regular basis, and you get fired, the only explanation is you did something so egregious that he looks the other way on loyalty, which is, that's all the guy cares about is, are you loyal to me? And what happened was wild. So Republicans and Democrats held her under fire, and I guess it just didn't go good, and Trump was like, let's get out of here. I want to know exactly what happened. Can you scroll up? It was a non-bid contract. And if you don't know what a non-bid contract means, it's it's always controversial because it means there was some favor at play, right? And that makes you know, that lets you know sometimes they probably do like a fake like 1-2, right? They probably go, all right, just like, let's fake a 1-2 punch. Let's fake a 1-2 punch. All right, there's two companies. Okay, what we're going to pick? What we're going to pick? I'm going to maybe pick the one with my friend over here. I'll pick one of my friends. I'll give it to you. Here's the government contract, and there's your little side money for playing the game. Thank you for showing up on The Price is Right. But sometimes they just go, no bid contracts, meaning I got a friend over here. Or as Dick Cheney used to do, he'd go, I was on the board over here, but now I'm not. I'm over here. And now I give money over here. And then in a couple of years, I'll step over here to collect my money. So I'm essentially paying myself, although it looks like I'm paying someone else. And they all do it, you know. They all insider trade. And they all abuse children, apparently, right? But you know what? The facts aren't there, according to Michael Tracy. If you look at the evidence, it's not there. Because that's what they love to do, is just leave evidence trails. That's what people in power love to do. People who are, by the way, in charge of prosecuting themselves. So you know what it is? What I love about the Epstein file is the elites go like this. You know what? We've looked through the files and we found nothing. And what we'd like to say is we found that we are innocent. Same thing with stuff like this, you know? Who's watching you? They do stuff like this, and it's like, it's very hard to get caught. They don't leave paper trails of this usually. But Kristi Noem, she's from South Dakota, so she's a fucking idiot. She's a dumb, ranching farmer bitch, and she tried to do something, and she didn't know how to be a real crook. If you're going to be a real crook, you have to make it seem like you're not a crook. You don't just make it seem like you're a crook right at the beginning. She didn't even get a chance to enjoy any of the 22 million. She didn't even get a chance to enjoy 1 million of the 220 million. She got caught right away in days. How bad must that be? How bad? A firm connected to her. Can you pull up the article again? So let's see what happened. So, the government spent $220 million on an advertised campaign for border security amid questions from lawmakers about the contracting process, and Republican-connected firms awarded the money. During a hearing before a U.S. House of Representatives panel, Representative Joe Neguse, a Democrat from Colorado, grilled Noem over a contracting notice that said the Department of Homeland Security had limited competition to 4 companies, just 4, in February 2025, citing an urgent need to stop illegal immigration. Then, Noem said that the contract was awarded through a competitive process and that no political appointees were involved. On Wednesday, she said the contract was all done correctly, all done legally, which is what ChatGPT told her. ChatGPT told her, as far as law goes, as long as you set up the company and it's an entity that's not you in Delaware, then you're fine. The contract was awarded to 2 companies linked to longtime Republican operatives, records show. One of the companies, Safe America Media. That meeting didn't take long. What's the name? Safe America Media. It didn't take long. Well, what's the name of this fake company? Was incorporated in Delaware, which is where all the washing happens. It was set up a week before winning the contract. Wow. They had a whole 6 days to build a strong resume. And boy, did they. In 6 days, they proved that they were the best company for the job. So in 6 days, they were able to do such good work that Kristi Noem said, here's $220 million to go save America Media. Go save America with your Safe America Media. The second was a Louisiana-based firm, People Who Think is what it was called, and it was awarded $77 million. Neither company could immediately be reached for comment. The Strategy Group, a company run by the husband of outgoing DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin, said on Wednesday that it was paid $226,000 as a subcontractor, a small portion of the total. So basically, I think the scrutiny is that company that was set up a week before That sounds a little fishy. It just, when you're spending other people's money, you want to get your hands on it. It's like Meyer Lansky said, gambling will always be the best because money won feels twice as good as money earned. The rush that you get, just ask gamblers, the rush that you get from taking someone else's money is just, it's too great. And that's one of the big, capitalism has its flaws, but one of the flaws of socialism is when you're spending some money you didn't earn. It's like when you're using a bathroom in public. Do you really care where the pee goes if you don't have to clean it up? Right? Unless your culture is one of public shame or whatever that goes, and it's homogeneous and it has a superiority complex, and they used to think they were superior samurais, and then they had an atom bomb dropped on them, and now they think that we're their new god and they worship us. I'm talking about the Japanese, who seem to have clean public bathrooms. You need to have so many things. You have to be brainwashed so much by your collectivist samurai culture that you don't want to pee anywhere, because if someone catches you peeing on the floor, you'll go now they'll go walk out a window with a full family at home. If they make one mistake on the Lexus fucking line, they will walk out a window. If Toyota goes, who did this mistake? They will walk out a window and kill themselves. That's the level of public shame you have to create through your culture over thousands of years in order for you to not piss on the floor in a public bathroom. And that's one of the flaws in socialism, right? You're peeing in someone else's bathroom, or you're spending someone else's money. You're just going to not act that great with it. And a lot of times you want to put your hands in it. You want to put your hands. You want to put your fake South Dakota Lee press-on nails into the pot. And that's what happened. So she got fired. So the only option is the messy rule of self-government with individual rights and freedom of speech and separation of church and state. And it's messy, and people will get depressed, and people will lose meaning, and some people will create the most amazing companies. Bernie Sanders can never quite answer that question, can he? He can never quite answer that question. Why does all the innovation and why do all the great companies that push us into the future, why do they always seem to grow out of America? Why did we lead the tech revolution? Why? And why not Europe with all its beautiful benefits? I bet you he'll skirt around that question. I bet you that's a question that'll be tough for him to answer. That'll be tough for him to answer. Why does all this innovation always happen in America? Why? The Chinese, it doesn't. They copy, right? They love to copy. They'll copy. Why is Elon Musk here? Why does he come here? Right? Why did Steve Jobs, why did that happen here? Why did the disgraced Bill Gates? I mean, the story's just, he just has no chance to write his own story anymore. That's all it takes, dude. Just one slice of Russian compromat, and that gives you a venereal disease, and it's over. It's just your legacy, no matter how much money you have, your daughter, everyone. It's just, that's the power of a poontang. And that's why empires have been using it. It's just, when you get to that level, there's one thing people want, and that's a young piece of ass. And it's the thing most people want, more than food, more than anything. That's why there's no buffet at the strip club. Nobody wants to eat at the strip club. They're just paying to look. You want to know how powerful puss is? Nobody would pay to go to a restaurant and look at food. You go to a strip club, people pay to look at the food. You can't even touch it. If you touch it, some big guy comes over and tells you to keep your hands off the food. And you pay hundreds of dollars to have that food, that puss, dance on your lap, and you just have to stand like this. Imagine they put a plate of spaghetti. Would you pay to just have a plate of spaghetti put in front of you to stare at it? That's how you know puss is the most powerful thing. So, of course, that's what Jeffrey Epstein was doing. It was part of what he was doing. It was a big part of what he was doing. Jeffrey Epstein is one of many from many countries who do that. There's chicks everywhere that are paid by intelligence agencies. Look, chicks will sell their pussy just for their own money. You don't think chicks will sell their pussy for a high government salary and also a little life's purpose? What the fuck is the difference? You think there's only private pussy out there? There's state pussy out there. Right? It's out there. And, you know, wherever Mark Zuckerberg's going, there'll be a chick at the bar. And that chick might be working for Azerbaijan or China or Russia or Venezuela, whatever you can get. If you can get in that bedroom and if you get a video of it, I mean, you know, you don't need street smarts to know. You don't think we do it? I'm sure we do it. We're all doing it. If you're someone important, really, really vet your pussy. Just really vet it. I'm talking NDAs, you know, with the size of cameras now, dude. Just like you have to control where the location is. Never do anything in anyone else's house. Make sure it's in your house. Make sure you got a metal detector, camera detector, whatever. Check her ass. Maybe there's one hidden in there. In this day and age with cameras and shit, you got to be careful. There was a much easier way to do this in Iran, right? You know what's crazy is that Israel was able to hack into all their cameras and was able to locate the Ayatollah and that meeting and everyone. And for years they do this shit. Do you know that the walkie-talkies and the beepers or whatever, 10 years ago they sold, and they waited 10 years. 10 fucking years. And during that time, they were obviously getting their intel and all that stuff. But those things, 10 years. So not only were they tricky with setting up the fake companies and selling them that, it was also a good product. It lasted 10 years. My iPhone lasts like 2-3 years, and then I got to get a new one. I would have been suspicious if I was Hezbollah, going like, wait a second. This company doesn't want to make money? They don't want us to buy the new version? That's your first. If you buy a product and it's too good, be careful. It could blow up in your window. Shout out to forthefree.art, as always. Music in Hawaii. What a great website to peruse for local bands and music in Hawaii. Forthefree.art. IndigoLabsAgency.com. Check them out. Check out the podcast Entrepreneurship Unlocked with Nate Linder, where he interviews entrepreneurs, CEOs, doctors, all types of fun stuff. But if you need social media managing, digital marketing, hit up IndigoLabsAgency.com. Rebels-Raiders.com. All this gentleman's gear uses NIR-resistant near-infrared solution-dyed materials, which cuts your signature under night vision. As far as he knows, he's the only company publicly posting test data on this. He's got plate carriers, rapid response medical bags, and 2-point rifle slings. Reinforced stitching and lifetime warranty all come standard. Hit up Rebels-Raiders.com. Grab your kit before it's gone. That rhymes. PCB Tech Art, the phone charger. I got one in my car. Go get it. They're on Amazon, which is where you can get them. Or you can go to PCBTechArt.com. Put in the code Yannis15 for 15% off and fix your wireless charging issues today.